Hey, thanks for coming back. This is Mr. Medicinal here. This is episode number 2. If you're new to this channel and you don't know what we're about, please, by all means, check out the intro video that I have and catch up on the first episode. First and foremost, for the people that have been following this, I apologize for the little prolonged video release. It does take some time to get all the fact checking done to make sure that I can give you quality content. I want to make sure you guys are well informed, well educated, and able to have a casual conversation about this easily so that it just sort of flows off the tongue. Today we're going to be talking about THC. If you don't understand what that means, I'm going to ask Julie.
Tetrahydrocannabinolic.
Tetrahydrocannabinolic. It's Julie, everybody. Say hi. Hi, Julie. It's long for THC. THC is the main component in marijuana. I mean, really, it's the whole reason people practically get stoned, right? I mean, I know when I was a teenager and I started smoking weed for the first time, someone's like, hey, you want to get high? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And because of it, I was introduced into this beautiful world that we're discussing about today. What's awesome about THC is science has demonstrated and suggested that it does more than get you high, actually. There's so many medical benefits with medical marijuana. And with that, THC provides pain relief. And that's really, for me, in my everyday tasks of having to be on my feet between 8 to 12 hours, if not longer a day, I get in a lot of pain. And it's enjoyable for me because I don't have to take Tylenol, aspirin, anything like that. THC, the studies suggest that the compounds in THC activates pathways in the central nervous system that blocks the pain receptor from being transmitted to the brain. So that's fantastic because a lot of people who are on opiates for pain, it does the exact same thing. What it does, you have to pick which doses works best for you. But like I said, studies do suggest, and I will happily provide each and every link to all the studies I have found. Fun fact though, the FDA in 2009, I believe, did trials that promoted the first fact. So that's very cool, actually. Also, THC eases and kind of sort of relaxes vomiting. Studies suggest that if you tend to consume THC more in an edible or a pill-shaped form, when it's digested, it gets into the bloodstream. It lasts a little bit longer. It provides a relief a lot longer than it does if you were to inhale it through a vape or other means. Also, fun fact, I've always used THC for when I had nausea issues. I used to have gallbladder disease. So I got nauseated quite a bit, and it was very difficult for me to eat. THC, fun fact, also into this episode we're going to be going into law, a lot about law, but we're going to touch very briefly on certain aspects until I'm able to get everything put together to go to one massive episode. THC protects your brain cells. Yes, that is right. It protects your brain cells. It does the exact opposite that I guess we have been led to believe our whole entire lives, for us people my age and younger, and for you older folks out there that are tuning in and watching. I believe it started with reefer madness. And reefer madness was extremely successful in manipulating the general public into believing that THC and smoking marijuana or using marijuana products makes you stupid, kills your brain cells, makes you lazy, so on and so forth. And we're going to touch more about the movie Reefer Madness on a later date if you guys are interested. But now we're going to go into the law aspect of this. Back in May 1st, 1970 is when the Nixon administration really pushed the war on marijuana. And I've always been that kind of guy that anytime that our news stories have ever really pushed the subject on us, there's usually an underlining thing happening, has happened, or they know is about to happen. I guess it's no longer a conspiracy when it's proven to be correct. And with that being said, they really did push the war on drugs. On May 1st, 1970 is when Richard Nixon moved forward. So what makes this super relevant to this is after they announced the very vicious and aggressive May 1st war on drugs, marijuana leading the forefront, on May 4th at Kent State University in Kent, Ohio, 28 National Guardsmen fired 67 shots into a crowd of college kids that were unarmed. The results being 4 of them passed away from their wounds and 9 others were critically wounded, but they did survive. There was a protest going on nationwide through many colleges, thousands of colleges throughout the United States at the time, protesting the invasion of Cambodia. The reason this is relevant is because in 1969, the United States was really heavily pushing the fact that we were no longer going to be a part and we were ending the Vietnam War. So from my understandings, from what I've gathered, it was just very confusing, and we were showing discomfort and displeasure for the war because we no longer needed to be there. And that's that. But the issue with that is it was overshadowed, Kent State shooting was overshadowed by the heavy promotion of the war on drugs and the war on marijuana. The reason this is a big deal to us is because after this event, they very quickly got rid of the Constitution teaching in our schools. They were no longer teaching the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, any form of law or format. We were no longer learning because we were becoming too educated. And with marijuana, we were opening up, because you got to understand, the love phase happened in the 60s. And, as kooky as we want to say that our great-grandparents and our grandparents were, they were very smart. And they were very toke. And THC is a fantastic compound that opens your minds to different possibility and realms and helps you think outside the box. So, after the war on drugs, and they pushed that, and after the shooting or the massacre that happened at Kent State University, they switched out our constitutional knowledges in favor for economics and social studies. So, that's relevant to what we got going on. Because of this, we have decades that were led to believe that marijuana is bad, that marijuana is awful and very, very dangerous. And I am here to tell you that it is not. It is the exact opposite. And unless, of course, you are one of those test rats that ended up having about 300 pounds of marijuana, from my understanding, fall on you, there is no record of anybody ever dying from using or consuming marijuana. So with that being said, I hope the content that I am providing for you is educational. Please, by all means, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to learn. Talk to me. I appreciate you. Signing off. Mr. Medicinal. Happy tokes, everyone.